Hey guys, welcome to video number 9 in the video series 58,000 Lives, a tribute to the fallen. We're doing a video series naming every single one of the Vietnam veterans that passed away, and we're giving a little bit of a story on whatever info I could find on them and honoring their sacrifice to our country. I give an update every time the video starts. I haven't gone as far. The last video I was at like 266. I'm only at 271, so I didn't go very far. Been kind of busy, so still I wrote down 271 out of 58,000. Um, this is video 9. We're gonna be starting off at 161 to 180, and then 181 to 200. I'm gonna try to do 2 videos back to back tonight. Video 9 and then video 10, 2 separate videos. But we're on one. Sorry, I just ate Mexican food, so I'll be burping a lot probably. So we're on 161. I got my gallery ready. I'm a little more prepared than I was in the last video. I got my gallery up, and like I said, we read these names off, give them the honor they deserve. In the special stories, Silver Star, Bronze Star, Medal of Honor, we star them, put a star beside it, and we're gonna do a podcast down the road on the special stories. And they don't have to be the certain star, but as long as it's a good story, things like that. Anything that needs more in-depth talking about, we're going to do those down the road in the podcast. So let's get right into it. I have a picture. We show the picture of them, and we speak about them and give them their moment of silence and everything. If you guys like these series, you went back and watched before. I went on 9. Like and subscribe and everything, and you'll get notified when I do these videos. I'm in the Adams, last name Adams. So if you have any family members that died in Vietnam, I will get to their name eventually. You guys can follow along with me, or just wait till the certain video series come up. I put them in different, like video series A. I'm gonna do all A's, and then all B are gonna be in my group. So if you go into my channel, you can find all the A's, and you can selectively go and find your family member. Well, let's get right to them. This is Darius Wade Adams. Darius Wade Adams was born June 18, 1949 in West Virginia. He died May 5th, 1968. He was 18, Vietnam. He's with Company A, 22nd Infantry, 4th Infantry Division. Died from explosive device in hospital. So I'm assuming he, like a landmine or grenade or something, and then died in the hospital later. I only write down the info I could find, and I do extensive research. But you can only get so much after so many years. He's on panel 54E, line 42 of the War Memorial if you want to see his name whenever you go to Washington. Or you can look him up on the internet. Now let's give Corporal Darius Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service to our country. Okay, this is 162 of 58,000. I have a long way to go. So I'm almost 100 behind of what I wrote down. So I still have plenty of time to write some more down. This is Warrant Officer Davy Marlin Adams. We're going to be in the Adams for a while. There was 122 different Adams. So we're going to be in the Adams for a couple videos. He was born November 13, 1945 in Greenville, Mississippi. He died December 12, 1968 at 23 years old in Thai Nam, Vietnam, where he's a warrant officer in the 120th Aviation Company, 1st Aviation Brigade, 210th Aviation Battalion, 12th Aviation Group. He was on a 062B helicopter and died from hostile air crash. Don't know how or whatever. That's all I got. Information wise, he's on panel 36W, line 9 of the War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Let's give Warrant Officer Davy Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. I forgot to mention, I always do this every video now. In video 5 of the series, 4 videos ago, go to the 10-minute, 10-second mark, and you will see a ghost right there. Video 5 of the 10-minute, 10-second spot. Video 5. We're on video 9. They are numbered, by the way. Okay, in the title, they're not. They say 58,000 lives attributed to the following video 9. Okay, this is Private First Class David Lee Adams. Like I said, just 8, so bear with me. He was born October 10th, 1946, in Adrian, Michigan. Died May 31st, 1967. He was 20. In Bien Dien, Vietnam. He's with A Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division. Died from misadventure friendly fire. Now, every time I get one of the friendly fires and there's no more information, I star that because I'm going to do extra work into finding out why or what happened to him. That's all it would say, and I look at like 10 different websites, so I got to go really in depth to get more information on the friendly fire ones. That's he was on panel 21E, line 20 on the Wall Memorial. Let's give Private First Class David Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service to our country. Okay, this is SP4 David Lee Adams. There's 2 different David Lee Adams, back to back. This is also David Lee Adams, but this is SP4, not PFC. He was born December 20th, 1948 in Mount Morris, Michigan. He died August 19th, 1968. He was 19 in Long An, Vietnam. He was with B Company, 2nd Division, 60th Infantry, 9th Infantry Division. He died from multiple frag wounds. Usually that's mortar or grenade. He's on panel 48W, line 51 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 David Adams a moment of silence. And thank him for his service, so we may be free. Okay, this is Corporal David Vernon Adams. Born November 23rd, 1948 in Pontiac, Michigan. He died January 14th, 1969. He was 20 years old in Tay Ninh, Vietnam. He was with the 22nd Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division, C Company. Died from hostile fire. Now, there's a whole lot of died from hostile fires. That's all they wrote, because it was just gunfire. A lot of those, there's no information other than gunfight. All you have is, where they was at when they died. You can find him on 35W, line 86 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Corporal David Adams a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. I'm constantly looking to see if I see something. And I could have swore I seen something, but it could have been a bug flying around. Okay, this is PFC Dennis Michael Adams. Born August 15, 1947 in Pennsylvania. Died February 28, 1969. He was 21. He was with the 1st Aviation Brigade, 3rd Squadron, 17th Cavalry. He died from non-hostile vehicle crash. Which I had some more information on that one as well. He's on panel 31W, line 87, the Vietnam Wall Memorial, if you guys want to look him up. Let's give PFC Dennis Michael Adams a moment of silence. Thank him for his sacrifice and service to our country. Next is PFC, Private First Class Donald Ben, aka Mickey Adams. So Mickey was his alias. Donald Ben Mickey Adams Jr. Born July 31st, 1940 in Hampton, Virginia. Died July 18th, 1967. He was 26. In Bien Dong, Vietnam. He was a Battery D, 3rd Battalion, 13th Artillery, 25th Infantry Division. I cannot find, that's what I wrote, I cannot find any info on PFC Adams. Only KIA. So that means they never recovered his body. Usually they at least have something wrote on there, but they still haven't found who he is, where he is. He's just KIA. It's awful. He's on line 23E, panel 23, line 84 on the Wall Memorial. Let's give PFC Donald Mickey Adams an extra moment of silence for being MIA. Thank you for your service. Okay, this is Private First Class. Dwayne Lonnie Adams. That smile. That dude was happy. He was born August 12th, 1947 in Aiken, South Carolina. Died January 14th, 1969. He was 21. In Tay Nha, Vietnam. He was a 25th Infantry 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry C Company. Died through hostile action. The only info it said, so probably small arms fire, I don't know. He's on panel 35W, line 86 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give PFC Dwayne Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Thank you, Dwayne. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. We would be a Chinese country. This is Private First Class Dwight Lee Adams. He will be in the Adams for a while. He's born October 23rd, 1949 in Nashville, Tennessee. He died September 16th, 1968. He was 19 in Quang Tri, Vietnam. I could not find any info on him either. It's on panel 43W, line 1 of the Vietnam Wall Memorial. Thank Private First Class David Adams. When? Okay. Let's give Private First Class Dwight Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Thank you, Dwight. We blew through these fast. There's no information, no stories. So usually we're 30 minutes in, but I don't have any information on any of them. I'm about to the next 3 or 4 has stories. This is FN Eddie Martin Adams, born February 11th, 1947. Don't know where, but his home record says Hadley, Massachusetts. Ooh. He died November 11th, 1968. He was 21 in Vietnam. F.N. Adams and S.N. Theodore Harrison fell from an armored carrier 111-1 at 7 p.m. while it was anchored at Dien Thong Province. Neither could be located through a search of the area. Both bodies were recovered and identified 2 days later. They both died from drowning. So it wasn't in motion. They died from an armored carrier. So hopefully, they had to. You can't go into the Navy without learning how to swim. You have to pass swim quals to get in the Navy. I know because I was in the Navy. So I don't know what happened. Maybe there was. Hopefully, they wasn't intoxicated or nothing. But he's on panel 39W, line 46. Let's give FN Eddie Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service to our country. Okay, this is SWF2. I don't know what that means. Edward Cody Adams. Whatever his job was in the Navy. He was born February 20th, 1945 in Tollgate, West Virginia. Haha, that's a good name of a town. He died April 16th, 1968. He was 23 in Quang Tri, Vietnam. He was a passenger in a helicopter, and it was shot down by enemy fire, reportedly. The DCR report says he was killed by artillery attack and shrapnel from a nearby impact. And it was Spillman in the helicopter. I don't know what that means. I guess there was another guy in there. They're saying that he might have died from artillery instead of in the helicopter. There's kind of contradicting stories whether it was him or Spillman. Whoever Spillman is, I don't know. But I'm sure I will run into Spillman when I get to the S's. And it'll probably say the same thing just in reverse. He's on panel 50E, line 10 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SWF2 a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service to back-to-back Navies. Hoorah. This is PFC Emmett Colin Adams. Born September 21st, 1942 in Letcher County, Kentucky. I live in Kentucky myself. I'm sitting in Kentucky right now. He died February 20th, 1966. He was 23 in Bien Dien, Vietnam. Get better at saying those names. He was with A Company, 13th Signal Battalion, 1st Cavalry Division. He had only been in Vietnam for 10 days when he was killed from metal frag wounds to the body. Well, this is one had a good story. I need to start this one for the podcast. His local clerk at the draft board. Now, the towns back then had draft boards whenever was doing the draft. The last time they did the draft was for Vietnam. His local clerk at the draft board, Judy Stidham, reported that Adams' sister had threatened her life. Her husband and son were also in the military. So, it doesn't make sense why she would just send some random guy. The sister said all she did was have a confrontation with Stidham over his death, claimed he should not have gone, being the only supporter of their invalid mother, and he was sent without adequate training. So, two contradicting news stories there on who is to blame and who, I understand why she was mad. He's on panel 5E, line 54 on the Wall Memorial, but technically her husband's son was in her too, so it didn't sound like she would do anything, and she shouldn't. So who knows? Let's give PFC Emmett Colin Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service to our country. Okay, we're on 173 of 180. We're catching up to the first video, to the 9th video here. This is Sergeant Earhart Jimmy Adams. Earhart Jimmy Adams, born October 8, 1948 in Landkreis Erding, Germany. He was from Germany. Died November 2nd, 1970. He was 22 in Dak Lak, Vietnam. He's a 12th SP Squadron, 12th TFW, 13th Air Force. He was a sentry dog handler when he became sick and was evacuated to a hospital where he died from a heart attack. So he was like an MP police officer that handled the dogs and died of a heart attack. That's crazy. He's on panel 6W, line 33 of the Vietnam Wall Memorial. Let's give Sergeant Richard Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service to our country. This is Private First Class Frank David Adams. He was born May the 5th, 1950 in New Orleans, Louisiana. He died August 8th, 1968. He was 18. Vietnam. Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 7th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division. Only info is he died from non-hostile illness or injury. Who knows what that means? He's on panel 49W, line 28 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Private First Class Frank Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service to our country. Okay, this is Captain Frank Houston Adams. El Capitan. Born November 3rd, 1939 in Nashville, Tennessee. Died March 23rd, 1970. He was 30 in Quang Nam, Vietnam. Headquarters Battalion, 1st Marine Division, 3rd Marine Amphibious Forces. Died from wounds from an air crash. No other info. He's on panel 12W, line 34 on the Wall Memorial. Let's give Captain Frank Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, I'm going to hit the pause button and I will be right back. Bathroom break. I have a couple more to do. Okay, I am back. I think I left off on Captain Adams. I believe so. Okay, this is Sergeant George Dayton Adams. Looks like Farva from Super Troopers. Sergeant George Dayton Adams, born July 27th, 1937, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Died April 26, 1966. He was 28 in Vietnam. He's with the 2nd Armored Division, B Battalion, 3rd Artillery. He studied demolition and explosive sabotage. Ooh. For some reason, I have on here wrote also Company C, 1st Battalion, 16th Infantry, 1st Infantry Division. So if I got one of those wrong, I apologize. He died from hostile gunshot wounds to the body. It's on panel 45E, line 17 of the Wall Memorial. Let's thank Sergeant George Dayton Adams for his service and give him a moment of silence. Thank you. This is Lance Corporal George Francis Adams. He was born December 4th, 1947 in Worcestershire, Massachusetts. Died March 18, 1968. He was 20 in Thien Hue, Vietnam. C Company, 1st Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division. Died from hostile gunshot wounds to the body. He is on 45E, panel 45E, line 17 of the Wall Memorial. If you guys want to look him up when you go to Washington. Let's give Lance Corporal George Francis Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. I wish my stinking camera would stop trying to zoom in and out. I ain't even moving. Unless it's a ghost. Okay, this is SP for George Gabriel Adams. He's born September 25th, 1945. It says USA. Let's see what his home record was. Houston, Texas. He died April 18th, 1968. He was 22 in Bien Doing, Vietnam. I'm telling you, I'm getting good with those. He was in B Company, 1st Battalion, 26th Infantry, 1st Infantry Division. Died from small arms fire. I need to check one thing before I continue. Give me 2 seconds. I started at 21. So I did that one, so I need to drop down. I thought so. Drop this down one. That's what I was trying. I knew something was wrong. It was off. He is on panel 50E, line 36 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 George Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This is Captain George Hartwell Adams. Born October 30th, 1946, USA. It says Binghamton, New York. Died April 12th, 1970. He was 23. Tay Ninh, Vietnam. Air Cavalry Troop, 11th Armored Cavalry. Died from hostile helicopter crash. He piloted a UH-1H and received ground fire. He received 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses. So 1 plus the Oak Cluster. He's on panel 12W, line 126 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Captain George Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Alright, this is the last one we're going to do of the video 9, and we'll move on to video 10. This is Sergeant Gilles David Adams. He was born June 22nd, 1945 in French Southern Territories. There's some islands somewhere. He died March 15th, 1968. He was 22 in Vietnam. 9th Infantry Division, Division, 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry, died from multiple frag wounds as a medic working on the wounded. He's on panel 44E, line 56 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Sergeant Gills Adams a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, that's another 20 more we recognized. We got a long way to go. We're going to recognize every one of them. If you like these videos, subscribe. Like I said, follow. Hit the follow button in the notifications so you'll know when I do the next video. If you guys love history, I'm doing all the research for you. You just have to sit back and listen and hear their names. And I'm going to go get ready for video 10. I'm going to go load video 9 to YouTube. Okay, guys, see you in a minute.